Jacksonville has elected a new mayor, and for the first time in its 200-year history, a woman will lead the River City. Mayor-elect Donna Deegan is joining us this morning live in the studio. Donna, first of all, congratulations to you and your team on the win.
Thank you so much.
People across the country are talking about this. I have to ask you this. This is the hardest question I'm going to ask you. Did you get any sleep last night?
I got about 3 hours. So if I say anything that makes sense today, that will be a win.
What a campaign. You have to hit the ground running. What are your top priorities as you are now mayor-elect and you have to look forward to taking that seat in office?
Well, first of all, I do have to give so much love to my campaign staff, Pat McCullough and the whole team that ran this campaign from the day one. They saw my vision of a positive campaign. It's painful to watch your candidate get attacked and then not say, you know, we want to go back, and yet everybody stuck with it with me. And I think that was a key to winning this race. In terms of priorities, it's opening up City Hall, making sure that we have a transparent, accountable City Hall, and making sure that we bring the people into the process. Those are the beginning steps, and then the 3 pillars of the campaign: infrastructure, health, and economy.
You talked about uniting everyone,
yes,
whether they're Democrats or Republicans or independents, and we saw that with the votes last night.
We did. That was so gratifying. So gratifying to be able to, and we knew that was the only way forward in this election. We knew that in order to win, we were going to have to unify people, that we were going to have to get support from across the political spectrum. So I think it was key to have a lot of those Matt Carlucci, Randy DeFore, Anna Brochet, a lot of Ellen Glasser, a lot of those Republicans who crossed the aisle to say, hey, you know, it's okay. She has the city's best interest at heart, in addition to all the wonderful Democratic folks that helped us out. So I just think, I think all in all, if we're ever going to have a city that is successful in the way that it can be, because we have every possible asset in this city, we've got to work together to do that. And as you know, from the job that you do, that I did for 25, 30 years, you have to bring everybody's voice in, and you have to try to accurately give voice to what people believe. And I think that's the way that we create a good city, by not just what does Donna think, but bringing a lot of voices in.
Donna, what do you say this morning to those who are not Team Donna, those who did not vote for you? There's 48% of the people that did not, that don't necessarily agree with your standing. How do you bring them in, and how do you win them over as the next mayor?
Well, I think the same way that we created all of that support from across the spectrum. I really want everybody to understand, and I think most people know I'm an honest broker. I really want to bring everybody into the conversation. And I'll be a mayor for everybody. That's what I've said from day one. I want to bring all the voices in. So I would just say to them, please give me an opportunity. I'm looking forward to having a city where we are unified and where folks have a say in their city government.
Your opponent last night, Daniel Davis, called you to congratulate you.
Very gracious.
He said some gracious things during his concession speech.
He did.
How do you feel about moving forward with him and some of the people that align themselves with his campaign?
You know, I believe he loves the city just like I love the city. We just had a different view of the campaign, and I regret some of the things that were said during the campaign. But at the end of the day, I do believe that he loves Jacksonville just like I do, and I believe we'll work together very well to be able to move this city forward.
Surveys show that crime is a top priority, and we spoke with Sheriff T.K. Waters last night. He wants your support. Obviously, you didn't align on the campaign trail. Have you had that conversation with him yet? What do you plan to speak with him about?
I have had very few conversations so far. Last night was pretty much, just a whirlwind, but we will absolutely sit down. I have always worked very well with the police department here. I've had a long and good relationship with them, and I told the FOP when I met with them when they were doing their interviewing process, I know what politics is like. I know what's going to be said. You all know how I feel. You know when I'm mayor that I will be a great partner to law enforcement, and I will. And I also hope to create better conversation between our law enforcement and our community, because I think that's what makes us a safer city.
Finally, I ask you this. Where do you see yourself and our city of Jacksonville in 4 years?
Well, what I hope is that we have a much more inclusive, much more transparent city government. I'd love to see a thriving open riverfront, a healthy city, and small business that is booming like we've never seen it before.
All right. Mayor-elect Donna Deegan, thank you so much for your time this morning. I know that you're busy. We know that you're tired. But you made the time to come in here and
speak
with our viewers.
And thank you to everybody. Really appreciate you.